Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session in today's Tech Showcase. It is a special one because with me today, I have Alfred from Listen Labs, who is Greenbook's 2024 Insight Innovation Competition winner. For those of you who don't know, the Insight Innovation Competition is for startups. They get to come to our North America event and give a pitch. And then there's one lucky winner, which was Listen Labs. Very well deserved. With that, Alfred, I will go ahead and let you get into your demo for today's session.
Thank you so much, Bridget. And I'm really excited to meet you all today, and feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. I'll kick it off and start with our presentation. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from Sweden and now based in San Francisco. And in my undergrad, I started a company where I did a ton of research, both qual and quant, and always had this pushback from my colleagues when I did qual, like, hey, you've only done 10 conversations. How can we kind of bet the company based on these decisions? And so the idea behind Listen Labs is that you can essentially conduct qualitative research at scale using an AI-led moderator that can ask follow-up questions and dig much deeper. So you all know this, you work in consumer insights, but customers, they have great ideas and things they want to share, but it's really difficult to find the time to listen to all of them, at least until now. And you can use something like a survey, but they're like a flashlight. They're great if you know what you're looking for, and they're not so great if you want to explore or if you want to get a little bit more nuance. And that's why we built Listen, which is an AI moderator that you can train, and it's a semi-structured interview, and it makes personalized follow-up questions, and then you can analyze all those hundreds of conversations that you might have with AI as well. And it's through these follow-up questions that you really start to get the rich detail that you need to make better decisions. And we're live with some fantastic customers like Google, Kohl's, GetWiser, a decision market research firm. So we work both with the end customer and also with agencies. So I'll go directly into the demo. I'll start here with a real life transcript because it really showcases the value that we provide. So first, the user just answers very briefly here, just with one word, but then there is a follow-up question and the user shares a little bit more. And there's a second follow-up. And there, really at the third follow-up, you start to get all the detail you need to make better decisions. And that's what we find time and time again. Through these follow-up questions, you get the rich detail you need. And we get roughly 3 times more words than a traditional survey. So what this looks like on the end user side is a link you share. You can change the language. We have like 20 different languages. And we also have a panel, so you can recruit with us, but you can also use your own panel. And you'll start here, and I can answer over text or audio. And we're working on video as well. So here I can say, yeah, I do a ton of studies. I've done online surveys, I've done in-person studies, kind of a little bit of everything. And now Listen will transcribe what I say and ask a relevant follow-up question. Could you share more about the in-person studies you participated in? And also, I feel heard because it kind of summarizes what I just said. Yeah, so when I was in university, I did a lot of in-person psychology studies to make a quick buck. And as you can see, also, I'm showing an image here, so you can show stimuli, images, or videos. And here, Listen is digging even deeper to really get an understanding of what those studies were like. So the way that you set this up It's really simple. You just add the questions and you set the amount of follow-ups that you would want to make. You can tune this. And then we have other instructions, which allows you to do conditional logic based on open-ended questions, or you can also guide the AI in terms of what follow-up questions you wanted to make. And after it asks this question, it will move on to the next question. And that is how you program the interview. It's really simple. You can just upload a Word document and it will create this skeleton for you. And it's always driven by the research objective in the background. And that will help you, that will help the AI make better follow-up questions, essentially. So this is how you set it up. Now I'll show you the back end of this as well, which is the analysis. So after you've done hundreds of interviews that are unstructured, you need to be able to make sense of them. So we have the ability to get you the key takeaways, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. It's a great way to get a first understanding of what did we actually learn in this study. And a lot of text here. I won't go into all the details. We also get things like personas. And so here you're able to segment the users into goals, attitudes, and behaviors, and the AI will generate multiple different personas that can be a great way to brainstorm on how you should segment your customer base. And it's not going to be as good as your analysis, but it's going to give you that first draft and get you 80% there. You also get recommendations, outliers, and we always try to, in our analysis, point back to the real conversation to make sure you have that grounding in the real data, and it's not just AI hallucinations, but it's actually based on learnings from the conversations. You can always trace back how the AI made its analysis. And then you also have this more quantitative point of view where the AI will turn each conversation or create these themes and segment the users and classify them into these codings as well, where you can get a count of how often were these things actually mentioned. And it's advanced, so it's not just based on keywords, but it's also kind of conceptually understanding what you've been saying. Then you can zoom in and look at the actual conversations that took place, and always open up those quotes to read or listen, if it's audio, to the actual conversation. And you can see that people are actually, even if it's typing, they're sharing a lot. We also have the ability to ask any question that you might have. So you actually can ask other questions that were not explicitly mentioned in the interviews. That can be great if you want to classify them into different groups. You can also chat with the data. So you can actually ask, like, what do people think of the AI interviewer? And the AI will then search over all of the, again, the ability to click on these citations to make sure that we know where this is coming from. And of course, we have a grid view as well, where you can, for each interview, get questions and answers, and any questions you might add, they will also show up here. So that's actually a very quick overview of our platform. I'm curious if anyone has any questions that I can answer.
Wonderful. Yes, absolutely. Let's get into some questions. Just as a reminder, you can drop your questions in that Q&A box, but for now, we'll just start with the ones that we have gotten so far. How big should the sample size be?
Yeah, so in terms of sample size, we can provide value once we have at least 15. But we've done up to 1,000 interviews, or we can do way more. But the sweet spot is somewhere around 100 or so. So we can be very flexible there in terms of sample size.
Wonderful. And with your expertise, what would you say how long the interview should be?
Yeah. So again, we've done a wide range, anything from 3 minutes to we've done 90 minutes at one point. Generally, there is some kind of survey fatigue or interview fatigue. So I would go for something that's 15, 20 minutes, and that would work well. Generally.
Wonderful. Thank you. How do the depth and quality of insights generated through AI moderation compare to traditional human moderation? Are there any gaps or limitations that you've seen?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it's a new methodology that is different from either a survey or a human interview. And so it's not a replacement of a human moderator. Rather, it's more of it's a new way where you can gather much more in-depth insight. But we're obviously working on making it smarter and smarter, and it's able to now, for the first time, also reason over what you're saying. So not just asking why or can you elaborate, but actually saying, hey, I'm hearing this from you. It sounds like you're a bit hesitant when you're mentioning this topic, but have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And so it's much more of a conversation and a little bit more opinionated as well, without leading the witness, of course, but that's kind of the tricky balance we're working on. But yeah, see, we have another question as well.
Yes. So how many participants can Listen Lab handle at once? And have you ever encountered any scheduling issues?
Yeah, the great benefit of Listen is that you don't have to schedule. It's a link you send, and so we can have any amount of participants ongoing at the same time.
That's super wonderful.
So right now, as we're having this conversation, we're having thousands of interviews ongoing in the background.
That's so awesome. Well, it looks like that's all the questions that we have for today. Alfred, I want to give you a big thank you for being here today with us, and thank you to all of our attendees. All of the sessions from today's Tech Showcase will be available to watch back, and they'll be available on our YouTube starting on Monday. But with that, thank you everyone for joining, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.